Peace and blessings, y'all. So, my last live, my mic died and it didn't switch me over to it didn't switch me over. It didn't switch me over to my other mic. So, let me bring y'all back into the conversation. I don't know who heard what, but I'm going to just go into some of the necessaries. I'm going to get into some of the necessaries. All right. So let's go into the discipline, the daily discipline. There have been plenty of moments where I have been back and forth with discipline and how can we get consistent in that? And if you guys have questions, post them in the comments. I love to interact with y'all's questions and get to the root of what y'all may need help on too. So thank y'all for showing back, coming back to the live. We definitely moving and grooving now. But like the big thing for me is that I had to see where my areas of opportunity was in discipline. What are my daily things? Where do I have areas of opportunity that I can grow in? And that came with looking at what was challenging for me. So I'm gonna use food as an example because that was one of my most difficult most difficult areas of opportunity. I don't My challenges are always areas of opportunity, places that I can grow. So my area of opportunity with food was that I had an emotional connection to it. And from my childhood, also I had ancestors that went through famine, so I found myself eating really fast, eating in large portions, like overeating, eating to not address emotions that I was going through. Like I had a really unhealthy relationship with food at one point, and that is why it's such a big part of my life now. And that has been one of the things that has helped me to shape my discipline over time. Now, I've been shaping my discipline for years, y'all. Like, it's not something that you just do overnight. It's not needed to do overnight. You don't need to change. You don't need to do a 180 overnight. Because what I noticed is that whenever we're searching for microwave results, you're going to get the poor quality of things. And not saying that results can't come quickly, but saying that if you are seeking for validation and instant results, you're most 9 times out of 10 going to be disappointed in what comes forward from it. And I noticed that a lot of us are not present with things that happen quickly. If something is giving us the whirlwind, if something is exciting to us for a moment, we're always seeking the next thrill. And that is usually why people become hyper obsessed with things, with the results. They're more obsessed with the results than they are the journey. And it creates a disconnect. And that's also another root issue that, that's for them to figure out. But I kept wondering, why am I starting and stopping projects and disciplines and things that can help me grow my life? Like, why wasn't I able to be consistent with that? And I had to be real with myself. Hey, Nicole, I had to be real with myself and say, where can I grow? What is keeping me from living my best life? What is keeping me from being in a healthy space with myself? And that's a real ass question, y'all. Like that's something I've had to sit with repeatedly in my life, and I've reevaluated it several different times, and it changes. Just like I'm growing, my answers are going to grow, right? And so are yours. And so I'm going to go into different ways that you can transmute this energy whenever you're in the midst of an area of opportunity for yourself. So that's, if you don't go to the altar, you have resistance to going to the altar or getting up out of bed and meditating, or exercising, wherever your area of opportunity is, your area of resistance to what is good for you. The biggest thing is to identify what the root issue is. What the root issue is. Why is there resistance there? Hey, Yuri. Where does that resistance come from? So I recognize that I was afraid of cooking at one point because I was afraid, number one, that my food would be criticized, that it wouldn't be good. I didn't know how to cook. I was intimidated by cooking, right? And then I also had a mixed relationship with food. And I also had a lot of parasites in my body from the chemicals and the processed foods that I was eating. So I was addicted to certain foods. And I had to break addictions through fasting. Now, everybody doesn't have to go that route. But even in the moments where I was heavy and I didn't have a good spiritual routine, a spiritual hygiene routine, which is where you're cleansing and protecting yourself, grounding yourself every single day. When I was not healthy in my spiritual hygiene, I was so heavy, and sometimes I'd be too heavy to go to the altar. I just want to lay in bed. And one thing I had to start telling myself is, if you don't feel better after going to the altar, fine. Go to bed. But the one thing you need to do is go to that altar when you don't feel like it. And that's what I had to tell myself. You're going to have to go to the altar, because it's one thing that everything in you that you're fighting, your shadow's telling you, don't go to that altar. Don't go to the altar. Your shadow is telling you, don't eat that healthy food. Don't dig into it any deeper. It's intimidating. You're not going to be able to cook healthy food. Healthy food is nasty. Like, you're creating a lot of excuses to create, like, you're creating anxiety around this resistance, right? But I can tell you, every single time I went to that altar, instead of just wallowing in that energy, what did I do? I came out of that. I came out of that better. I went to the altar and I felt cleaner. I felt lighter. I did the healing work. The nights that I am exhausted and I want to go to bed immediately, I know immediately I need to cleanse my energy. I can't go to bed like that, right? But that took me building consistency in that, because I used to just go to bed with the weight of my day on me, not realizing that I was taking this weight of the day with me to the realm where other spiritual things are happening. And then I also was taking that into my next day. I realized that I can't start my day by looking at Facebook, because I'm immediately tapping into other people's energy before even checking with myself. Am I checking with myself first? Your resistance may be that you get up every day and you're rushing. That creates anxiety in the body, first and foremost. Like, if you are like, I don't get up and rush no more. I don't rush anywhere, y'all. Like, you're not going to see me rushing nowhere to do nothing. That is something that does not live in any bone in my body anymore. But I can tell you that I used to be a person that rushed. And when I was working a 9 to 5, I'd be sleeping to the last minute, rushing to get up. And I would be starting my day with anxiety. Why? Why start your day with anxiety? Like, if you find that you got to ask yourself, what are these habits that are not contributing to my health? Starting your day with anxiety, starting your day on social media, or immediately responding to people on the phone. You're immediately tapping into other people without even checking with yourself first. Starting your day eating really heavy foods. The body, check with yourself on that. Check with yourself on that. Like, now I realize what was healthy for me is intermittent fasting. So I don't eat till after 12 noon in the afternoon. I don't do breakfast anymore. I break fast afternoon. And I have one meal a day, because unless I'm eating fruit, I'll eat fruits or like snacks that are pre-made, but it's light. Okay, I'm not going to eat more than one meal because I recognize that doing so slows me down. It's heavy, it doesn't feel good for me. So that took self evaluation, right? Like, it wasn't a 180 in 1 month. I didn't make all these changes in 1 month. I made these changes gradually, and something that helped me to create positive self talk, positive self dialogue in this is to affirm and to celebrate these changes as they take place, to be present with these changes. A lot of us are in the hype. We're addicted to the hype. We're addicted to the motion. We're like, oh, yes, we riding the wave. We're like, we're going to change this. I'm going to transform my life like this because we want these immediate results, right? That's not how that works. We have to be gentle with ourselves. We have to congratulate ourselves as we gradually make these changes, and we can be present with those changes. We can see how our body responds, how our intuition responds. We can see what works for us and what doesn't. We can see what we need moderation of. We can be observant of where our energy is going that doesn't feel good. We can see what energizes us. We can see what drains us. We can be more present with these things so that we are able to make decisions that are good for us. And that requires observation. When you're running, all you looking at is the end goal. You're not looking at the houses. If you are jogging down the street, if you are sprinting, if you was running from the police right now, do you think you'd be looking around you? No. No, you would be thinking, what is my end goal? Where is my highest spot? Where is my next destination? Why? Because, like, you're not gonna see what is taking place there. So, like, we don't need to run to our destination. We're gonna miss everything that is taking place, which is why it's important to be present with it. Like, do a little walk, do a little stride, okay? Like, you can fast walk if you want. You can, but you need to be able to be present with these changes and to celebrate them. I don't care how big or small it feels. I don't care if it is a tiny milestone to you. Celebrate it. Celebrate it. Any way that you show up for yourself, celebrate it. Celebrate it. I ain't got nothing else to say but celebrate it. I don't care how big or small, because all wins are wins, and that is what matters. All wins are wins. It does not matter what it looks like. All your wins are wins. Blessings, Ivy. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Chloe. Oh, my babies. Thank you, Yuri. Please save all the lives. Please share them. Tell your friends. But every single win that you have is a win. If you showed up for yourself today, got in the shower, intentionally cleansed yourself, cleansed your energy, protected your energy, celebrate it. If you have been having difficulty, I don't know, like, if you've been having difficulty, going to the altar, and you showed up to the altar and did a 5-minute meditation, congratulate yourself. If you took a walk outside today and got some nature in your life because you realized that you haven't been in nature much, congratulations, celebrate it. Like, whatever you need to celebrate it wholeheartedly and be present with that celebration. It does not matter how big or small. It does not matter if other people do it easily. It does not matter. What matters is your relationship with you. And if you can celebrate every single win, that was a problem of mine, because, y'all, I dropped a whole journal and was like, what's next, Spirit? And Spirit was like, did you not just publish a book? And I was like, oh, you're right. They was like, you spent 4 or 5 months on that. Like, why are you not celebrating? You have pre-orders. Celebrate. Like celebrate. Celebrate more. Live in that more. Promote it more. Talk about it more. Like anything you do, celebrate it. It does not matter. When I had changed, my non-negotiables, I had to celebrate that because I recognized what my non-negotiables were. And I said, in 3 months, like throughout the next 3 months, I'm going to see where these non-negotiables are for me and if I need to change anything about them. Nothing is solid. Nothing cannot be, interchangeable. There are some non-negotiables I had that do not fit this list anymore, and I crossed them out and said, this ain't for me. And that's okay. Sometimes we have an idea of what we need to do, and then we start doing it and we realize that's a little much for me right now, or let me just focus on these non-negotiables, or let me just make sure. And y'all, let me tell y'all how I got to the non-negotiables. I had a real ass conversation with myself. And I said, what drains me? What do I need moderation of? What takes a lot of my time? What takes a lot of my energy? What distracts me? Where do I go and distract myself? Do I go to this to have fun and relax? Or do I move into this when I am dealing with a problem and don't want to address the problem? Right? Because, okay, relationships can be distracting. Some of us got people that we just call when we want to be distracted. Sometimes we binge watch television shows. Some of us get lost in the music. Some of us, like we start doing a lot of things. Sometimes, shit, anything can be a distraction. Okay. And so being able to identify, am I doing this for my fun, for my pleasure, for my enjoyment, for my relaxation, or am I doing this because I just don't want to deal with life? Okay. And it's okay if you don't want to deal with life. Nothing's wrong with that. There are moments where we need rest. And that is a real ass conversation to have, because if you need more rest, say that. Do not bombard your schedule with things to do when you need more rest. Make it a part of your daily routine to rest more, to do self-care. It's okay. But you need to address, baby, I need some more rest. Okay? If you're wearing yourself out by keeping yourself busy, and then you going out here and you just trying to distract yourself, then that lets you know that you need more rest. You need to allocate your resources and your energy differently. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But we need to have real conversations about that, right? With ourselves. We need to be real about that. I realized that even though I eat very healthy, there was a point in time in my life where I was still overeating alkaline food. And I said, we ancestors, we need to talk, because we're not in a famine no more. Okay. We're not in the famine. I'm still going to have food tomorrow. I don't need to eat like this is the last meal I'll ever have. Okay, I'm going to enjoy it. I need to stop eating so fast, and I need to be present with the food that I'm eating. Just because I'm eating healthy doesn't mean that my relationship is solid with this produce and with this whole food and this energy that's going in my body, right? So I had to be real. I had to go even deeper. I had to go deeper into it, and I had to ask myself, why do I act like this? Because a part of my DNA could remember being without food, starving, emotional and mental abuse that went with that, right? So these patterns show up in our lives for a reason. And the moment that we can address it, we can hold space for it. That's the moment we can alchemize it. I was about to say alkaline it. We can alchemize it. We can change it. We can say, I am transmuting this energy of lack into the divine knowledge and wisdom that I am, to know that I am abundant in every way. It's funny. A lot of people have been experiencing a food shortage, right? Like, I don't know if y'all knew that. Like, I didn't know that. Okay. Like, my mom had to tell me that there was a food shortage, right? And I guess it was on the news. But when you don't live in that reality, you're never in a place of lack. I never once experienced not getting anything that I needed from the store. Why? Because I don't live in that reality. I don't live in a place of lack. I don't experience the same things that the world be experiencing because I don't create that reality, right? I don't live in that. Somebody could tell me the world is on fire right now, and I mean, I'm gonna send love to them, but I don't live in that. I don't live in that. I don't live in the war zone. I don't live in the place of lack. You know, like it doesn't affect me the same way because I create what is divinely for me. So I don't have to, I didn't even know there was a food shortage. What food shortage? I was like, I ain't no food. I got plenty of produce. And every store I've been to, they've been having extra of what I need, baby. Like, ain't even thought twice about it. Thriving, vibing, jiving. We having a good time out here because we don't live in lack. Right. If you live out like, and then also like spirit prepares you for things. I know how to go without food for 30 days because I have been preparing my body and my mind and my spirit to fast, you know, for whatever reason. Like spirit will tell me, okay, it's time to fast. And I just know. I know how to fast. But it doesn't mean that just because I'm prepared doesn't mean that I'm living in a place of lack. You know, like it's something that, right, yes, Shawnee, like we know how to get them in the wild, we know how to identify them. You know, this is why, you know, wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. That's how that works. So if you are more interested in how to identify what is good for you, if you know how to identify parts of the body, what it does, the herbs, you know, like if you start studying essential oils, tinctures, like whatever you need. And also, if that's not your thing, get into what, you know, get tapped into your community because you can find help with people who do know what your thing is, you know, or what you need. But you know, whatever you pay attention to, that's going to be where your energy is flowing. And it's so important that you recognize like where your resistance to what is good for you is. Like I can, if I have a resistance to something that's good for me, I clearly need to deal with the root issue of that. And I'm going to go ahead and alchemize that, and y'all can do it too. So, okay, I'm gonna do a little thing. So whoever's in the comments, whoever's watching, comment something that you have a resistance to that you know is good for you. So that could be meditation, you know, getting up and not looking at your phone, or not eating after 8 p.m. I don't know, you know, or doing things in moderation that is, you know, that you might do excessively. So Shanae says letting go. Let's go ahead and do that. So I am alchemizing the resistance to letting go of any of my burdens into the free flowing movement of what is divinely for me. I release any resistance to letting go of thoughts, opinions, burdens, feelings, things that are no longer serving me. I let them go with love. I alchemize them into my highest good. I alchemize it into my love, protection, peace, prosperity. You know, so like you can move it. You can move the energy. You know, I'm proud of you too, Chloe. So like waking up early and doing yoga. So before you go to bed, what do you need to do? You need to go to bed how you want to start your day, right? So before you go to bed, do a few stretches. You ain't got to do a full yoga set. Do a few stretches, and as you're stretching, I am alchemizing the resistance to move my body. I'm alchemizing the resistance to allow things to flow through me with ease. I stretch and release. Yes. You know? So like waking up early, I I call forth the release. No, okay, let's start this over. So I alchemize the resistance to get up and move first thing in the rising, and I alchemize the thought process that keeps me from waking up early and getting up and moving. And sometimes that may be like moving your phone away from your body, or I do this too. Sometimes I'll lay in bed and I always get up and I meditate first. Sometimes I'll lay in bed and I'll meditate for the first few minutes because I'm recalling my dreams and I'm like recollecting coming into my body, right? Most of us are not in our body when we're sleeping, so you got to readjust to the physical form, right? And if I'm getting too comfortable to where I'm going to go to sleep, I say nope, get up and get on that yoga mat. My yoga mat is right next to the bed, or it might be in the other room, or I'll be like, no, at least get on the yoga mat, meditate on the yoga mat, at least get up and stretch, get your day moving. Get your day moving, because it's okay to rest. It's okay to get a little extra sleep if that's what you need. But if you are showing resistance to this and you want to create a habit, first thing you do in the rising, I'm releasing all resistance to movement. I allow myself to move with and flow with ease. I bring forth ease in my day. I bring forth ease into my body. I transition out of this bed with ease into my day. I walk into my day with prosperity and love and pep in my step. Okay. Like, however you need to move it, right? I transmute all energy of laziness and all energy that is keeping me stagnant. I transmute that and I bring forth the power to move. I transmute it and bring forth power to move in every aspect of my life. Because however you start your day, that's the moving parts of your day, you know? And it's not that you can't alchemize your day midday, because I don't get up early all the time. Like a lot of the times I'm up at 4 or 5 a.m. because I ain't slept. And that's just because I'm a daytime, nighttime out. Like I'm up half the day and I take naps midday, and that's what works for me, right? But if you want to get up early because you have a schedule to abide by, then move in that. You know, like I don't. All of my sessions are in the afternoon because I know that I like to sleep. You know, till about 11, 10, 11. But I also stay up really late. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some nights I don't go to bed till 2, 3, and that's very common for me. And I don't feel sleepy until then. Yeah, I'm not tired till then. I'm up doing my yoga. I'm up meditating. I'm up transmuting energy out my body. I'm up channeling. Like I'm with the spirits at that time. So, it ain't nothing wrong with that. But you got to find what movement works for you in your life. You got to find what movement works for you. Ayrton Wade said going vegan 100%. Then you should ask yourself, like, where is your resistance to healthy food? What is your resistance? Where is your mindset to that? So I alchemize any resistant thoughts that bring doubt to vegan or plant-based food being healthy for me, or tasteful. Like that was a thing for a lot of people, is that they feel like plant-based food is not going to be good, or it's not going to taste good, or they think that they can't eat the same things that they like. Let me tell y'all something. I don't go without the stuff that I like. And that's what's pushed me to be so creative. It is I can look at a recipe. I can look at a meatloaf right now and alkaline that whole recipe, because I know how to cook alkaline now. But at first I didn't even know how to cook. So there was fear there. I was afraid that I was going to fuck up the recipe. So then I had to drop my judgment. I alchemize my judgment of healthy foods. I allow and transmute all energy to flow through me that creates a good relationship with plant-based food. Plant-based food is good for me. The plants speak to me. We cultivate strong bonds and relationships. Everything that I create is good for me. It replenishes my cells. Like you can speak and affirm a different type of relationship with food. And that's something that I really had to do because I couldn't even cook meat when I ate meat. I was eating Wendy's 4 for 4s, y'all. Like I was eating Panera, I was eating the ramen shop, the sushi place. I mean, I still love those things, but I don't partake in those things because I realized that I had to do what was good for me. And what was good for me is that I need to be the one touching my food. I need to be the one talking real sweet and nice to my onions. One time I was cooking, I was chopping my onions and I was getting so deep into the connection with the food was I could hear the onion cry. I was crying, like it was screaming, the onion was screaming, and I was traumatized for a minute because I was like, yo, I need to talk to them nice. I need to thank them and be in gratitude for every single plant that nourishes my body. Like I had to see it like it's living and breathing. And it has an energy that we need to honor. And so when you think about it like that, you approach it differently. You approach it with more tender love and care, right? Yes, vegan chili be so fire. Like, yes, like you have to be in gratitude for it, And one thing I tell people too, even if you're not 100% plant based or whatever the case may be, whatever works for you, whatever's clever, right? Being in gratitude and talking to and creating a relationship with the ingredients that you use is so powerful. That's where the magic comes from. So if you are not 100% transitioned yet, celebrate the intention that goes into it and slowly work your way into it. It's alchemy. Yes, it literally does matter. The energy that you put into your food matters. I realized that I can't eat out like that. I don't eat out like that. There's occasionally, like when I went to San Diego, no, it wasn't. It was when I went to Vegas. We went to a plant-based joint called Veggie Nation. Super good food. The energy in it was popping. But I still could tell a difference between the energy that I place in my cooking versus someone else cooking for me, right? Because their energy is going into it. So if somebody's chef is having a bad day, baby, I'm getting all that energy, and I'm too sensitive for that. I need to protect myself, So like speaking life into your food, speaking life into yourself. I scream, I go in the bathroom, and if they only have the paper towels, I always tell you, yes, thank you. Hey Abigail, the magic is in attention and gratitude. Yes, Carly, so it's like there is a deeper relationship here, and you can alchemize your relationship with anything, not just food. You can alchemize your relationship with the ancestors. You can alchemize your relationship with exercising. I don't really do well in the gym. I know that for a fact. Okay. But let me tell you what I do good at. The body does not know the difference between physically working out and mentally working out. And one of my strong suits is visualization. So before I go to bed, I do move. I do yoga, I do stretch because it is important that I move the energy out of my body physically. I dance, I do things to physically move. I can walk 10 miles and everybody looks at me crazy, but I can walk for a really long time for long distances and not be tired. But because I got a lot of stamina, but I don't physically like to do a lot of like cardio and things like that, like actual exercises. I do go to physical therapy for and I do some of those small exercises to support my back and my ribs and things like that from my car accident. which has helped me to incorporate those small exercises in there. But the tea, y'all, let me tell y'all the tea. Visualization, you can visualize yourself working out. Yesterday I visualized myself doing those really tall jumps. You know, when people got them weights on and they be jumping really high and then they jump down and then they jump up, you know, like, and then I visualize my body how I want it to look, right? Like muscular. I love a muscular body, you know. So like I'm all buff, my booty is popping, my thighs is toned, like my back is looking fine, like, you know, and I love my body how it is now, but I still visualize because I'm a shapeshifter. We're all shapeshifters. We can do whatever we want to do with this vessel. That's what it is. So, you know, like you can do whatever you want. So I visualize me working out. When I tell you that I physically sweat, my muscles are aching. My muscles are aching from visualizing me working out, and I'm in it. I be lifting them weights. My arms be burning and I don't even be moving. I'm in meditation. And that's how strong the mind is. That's how strong the mind is. You can sometimes I be visualizing myself doing I be in the in downtown Mexico, Guadalajara. I be down there in somebody's small city, small town, out there, out by the bars, and me and the mariachi is having a good little session. Okay, or I'm out there, I'm on a dance floor with somebody doing some extensive dance moves. I don't even know what they call it because that's another venture that I'm gonna get into eventually. But I can feel my flexibility changing. I can feel my body from the workout of dancing in my mind. So like that's the power of it, because we got muscle memory, right? So like you can do anything that you want to do. Yeah, Chloe, like your body definitely is it definitely, yes, yes, like you can do whatever you need to do. And so sometimes you got to find what works for you, and it's not always going to look the same. Yes, I still get up and get on this yoga mat and I still do my stretches. Sometimes it's only for 5 minutes. Sometimes I do a full 30-minute yoga workout and be sweating and doing a bunch of other things. But that's 9 out of 10, I'm up here. I'm up here. And that works for me because I know the power of my mind, right? If you need physical movement, which we all need some kind of physical movement, but you might want to do Tai Chi. You might want to take up karate or taekwondo or kung fu. You might want to do a different martial arts. You might want to do judo. You know, you might want to do jousting. I don't know. Like you might want to get your physical exercise in differently, you know? Sometimes the discipline is really about doing something that is fun to you and creating a difference in your, like, alchemizing thought processes that keep you in a place of fear. I can't be afraid to do new things, to try new things. Like I take up a lot of hobbies that move me into action. Like I just bought some skates. I've been skating for the past month and love it. Okay, I be skating in my garage sometimes for 3 hours and don't even recognize it because I'm just in the groove. I'm trying new things, and then I see people skating online, and I'm like, damn, I'm busting that move. Hold on now, you know. So it's like, have fun with it. Yeah, yeah. So it's like you gotta, like, I got a friend that worked out, and she was like, I needed to watch Friends while I was doing cardio because I needed something to keep my attention, to where I could enjoy it. So like if working out is something that you want to do at the gym, fine. But there's other ways to get physically active. And the big thing is like you can use your mind. You can do what is tailored to you. Do what is tailored to you. And that takes some real conversations. I know that I am not suited for the gym, baby. Now, if I had a personal trainer, that might be different. Not gonna knock it. Okay. But me just going to the gym, you're not gonna find me at the gym. I'm not consistent with it. And I'm not going to make promises to myself that I can't keep. That's something that has helped my discipline tremendously, is that I'm not gonna make promises that I can't keep. Y'all, look at this. So what I did was I wrote out a list of habits and moderation. And I had to, now I'm not gonna say, like some people, they just say things that they're gonna cut out completely. I feel like you should still have fun in life, right? And my moderation is, this is my non-negotiables for 3 months to see, and then I'll reevaluate what is good for me. No phone, 45 minutes and rising. Sometimes I don't listen to that, okay? I'm on my phone in 20 minutes. Sometimes that's what it is. But the first thing I'm not going to do is get on social media or answer texts and calls, because that's just not what it is. So I definitely stay to myself in the first thing in the rising. Stretching and yoga, reading, visualization, language learning, journaling, meditation twice a day, one meal after 12 noon, a clean space, and then 150 to 250 in my savings weekly. So this is my habits. These are the habits that I am instilling in my everyday life. I don't read every day. That's one thing on here that I got on here, that I read maybe once or twice a week. I was doing really good the first 2 weeks. I was reading at least a chapter a day. I ain't doing that right now. I ain't even gonna flex to you. I need to reevaluate what's taking my time and energy to add that in, right? Hey, Robin. And so these are my habits. These are things that I'm incorporating in my daily life. And I know that these are my weekly life for my savings, but I realized I had to be real with myself. Like, do I have good financial habits? Do I have a good spiritual hygiene? Am I taking care of me? Am I, doing things? What takes a lot of my time that I ain't got no business doing? And that's where my moderation comes in. Now, since the winter break, I haven't been on the same moderation, but I still be in moderation, okay? It's just not this, it's not this as detailed. So it's okay to move, and shift. It's okay to move and shift. It's okay to reevaluate. It's okay to relapse. Okay, the big thing is that, at 3 months ago, I didn't even have a moderation thing. I just was fasting whenever I felt led to, and I just was doing whatever. This is the first time I've actually written it out and been like, and kept it on my wall and been like, this is what I need to be a part of. Like, this is what I need to, this is my non-negotiable. So my moderation is 4 anime episodes per week, so that I'm not out here binge watching, because I sure will do it. I will go through a 12 episode anime series in 2 days, sometimes less. But it's easy for me to get caught up in that because I love it, right? But moderation is key, right? I need more time to dedicate to my habits. So I need to do these things in moderation. And I recognize that I have a problem with overindulging in these things, right? Cannabis for celebration and or periods. I have not had cannabis in 2 months, and I definitely want to smoke right now, but not even on my cycles. I haven't even smoked on my cycles because non-coincidentally, my organic grower hasn't been able to get cannabis to me since November. So I have not been able to smoke since then, and that's okay. Spirit said you don't need it, and I've been fine without it. I'll smoke my herb blends from time to time, which is mugwort and catnip and lavender, but I'm not smoking like that every day just because I realize that I need to I need to be focused right now. And 5-day fasting every 2 weeks. I have not done that one. But what I did start doing every 2 weeks was fruit fasting. So instead of eating grains and vegetables, I'll do fruit fasting for at least like 2-3 days. And I've been acclimating my body to more fruits every single day because I recognized that there was an imbalance in my diet or my habits because I eat so many vegetables that I don't eat as many fruits. So that was something that, I now see that I need to cross that out and tailor it to what works for me right now. The goal is not to do a 180 in, quickly, guys. The goal is to slowly incorporate these things into your everyday life. So you got to ask what are your non-negotiables? What can benefit your life, right? Social media only for posting. I got me an assistant. I did start getting on social media a little bit more often to release content and to, like, now that I have help, I'm able to interact a little bit more. But now this also means that I can be off social media and you guys can still get the benefits of the stuff that I create. And I've been in a really creative space, so this is good. So, no splurge spending. I've been doing really good with that. I haven't been splurge spending. I like to, whatever I like it and I get it, and I ain't got money comes to me so easy, and I have a really great relationship with wealth and money, and I don't live in a place of lack, so I'm so used to just buying whatever I want and just doing whatever. But I said that I needed to invest in bigger things, which means that I don't need to splurge spend. So I have been creating better relationships with the things that I consume, and I realized that that was something that I needed to do. So in basically saying that, write out things that you need to work on, where your areas of opportunity are. What are some things that you can do in moderation? What are some things that you can do in moderation? And what are some habits that you want to instill into your everyday life that you know is going to benefit you? If you have resistance to these things, alchemize and transmute the energy of resistance in your life. Slowly start building towards that. If you're not 100% plant-based and that's a goal or a habit that you want to incorporate, make it your business to do food prep for 3 to 4 days out the week. Start out with that. If you want to fast more, make it your business for the first week to fast for 24 hours, the second week for 48, the third week for 72. Like, slowly build on it. You don't have to do it all in one time. Like, there's been plenty of times where I realized, like, I just can't do everything on this list in one day sometimes. And that's okay, because I take time to rest. I take time to do other things that are good for me. And then I recognize, okay, I have been slacking on certain things that I need moderation in. And I just talk to me nice. We're not going to bully ourselves into productivity. We're not going to bully ourselves for relapsing. We're not going to bully ourselves for doing, going back and forth with these things. It's a process. And eventually you're going to get tired of your bullshit. Okay, like, that's what it is. Eventually you're going to get tired of getting sick whenever you eat unhealthy foods. Eventually you're going to get tired of not having time to meditate or not waking up early because you're so tired. Like, you're going to get tired of your bullshit. And eventually, like, the more you work on these habits and these things that you need moderation in, eventually it's going to be a no-brainer. Most days I don't even think about cannabis. Like, I love cannabis. I have a really great relationship with cannabis. But right now is not the time, and I'm okay with that. Like, most days I don't think about it. Sometimes I'll be like, damn, would love to have a blunt right now. I love to share sacred medicine with Mother Mary, but right now is not the time, and that's all right. I still honor the I still honor the process in which I would have done the same thing. I ground myself, I talk to my herbs, I make me some tea. If I do want to smoke, I wrap me some herbs. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to want these things. It's like we don't have to deny that we want these things, but we do have to be real and say, I don't need to be high right now. I don't need to be overeating right now because I know I got a problem with it. Or I know that I don't need to turn on this TV. In fact, let me just stay clear of that. Every time I want to pick up an anime, I'll be like, let me read my book. Or I look at this list. I look at my list and I say, did I do everything on this habit list today before I go over here doing some moderation shit? And that keeps me focused. Y'all. Some days I be like, let me look at this damn list. Hey, Hanan. Yes. Sometimes you just gotta look at the list and be like, did I do everything on my habits list before I go over here doing some moderation shit? And sometimes that's just a real conversation that we gotta have, y'all. It just is what it is. Not saying that it's gonna be perfect. Sometimes you're gonna need more rest. Sometimes you gotta reevaluate this list. Like, you gotta reevaluate the list sometimes. Sometimes you gotta say, okay, well, I just need this. This is what I can focus on. These things on my list are not things out of the ordinary for me. I was just not consistent with them. So I would read, but it would be, it would take me a little bit to get through one book, or visualization. I would visualize, 4 times a week, but my goal is daily. So the first thing I do in the rising with my meditation, I make sure to get some visualization in, or I do things that move me in the direction of where my focus is. And even if I don't accomplish everything that's on this list, I know that I still celebrate where I'm at, because there was a point in time where I was nowhere close to this. My life was really chaotic. And I celebrate how far I've come, and it's important that we do so. Don't beat yourself up. It's not needed. It's not needed. Harmful self-dialogue is not needed here. You will not get there faster with harmful self-dialogue. In fact, it's traumatic and it creates fear and anxiety in the body. And really the whole thing is to loosen up. Allow yourself to flow, allowing energy to come in and out and to move through you is to be in a relaxed place. That's why I say I don't get up and rush nowhere, baby. If I'm late somewhere, then it ain't meant or you gonna have to wait for me, and that's just what it is. Chloe said my Capricorn placement was like, you should be doing this, and I had to tone that down because the way you worded bully self is into doing it. Yeah. My air sign can be a little difficult on me. Like sometimes I play devil's advocate. My Mercury in Gemini and be like, you're too brilliant for this. Why are you still stuck on this? Like I've had a lot of negative self-talk that I've overcome because it's not necessary. I realize that I am more successful in a relaxed place. I'm mostly fire. Like my Aries moon likes to get shit done. That microwave results shit that I was talking about, that was me at one point. I did not celebrate where I was because I was always looking at the end goal. What's the next thing I can do? And there's power in that because I'm going to show up and do what I need to do, right? I know that I can trust that if I have something to do, I'm going to do it. But what I can tell you is that I have learned the value in slowly moving towards what is good for me. Slowly moving what is towards what is good for me. Hana says, I'm struggling with trying to create consistency with me. Yeah. And I'm doing better though. Congratulations. And working on my self-talk. That's the biggest thing you can do. Work on your self-talk. Create a list that works good for you. You know, like my friends, what they had to do, excuse me, what they had to do was, thank you for nourishing my body, spirit of the water. Um, what they had to do instead of lists, she had to set reminders in her phone to do stuff because she would just like she had a lazy spirit on her, or she felt like, you know, like she would be like, oh, I'll get to it later, or whatever the case was. I don't know what her internal deal was. Ooh. Let me stop talking about somebody else's journey. That was not meant to be a, you know, something bad, you know, but maybe one of y'all have a lazy spirit that y'all deal with, or maybe y'all don't be consistent. I don't know. But that was not a to speak negatively of her, because I deal with that too. Like sometimes I just be stagnant and in the bed and don't want to get up. um and she said, because my brain be everywhere. You need more meditation, you need more quiet time, you need more nature, you know. And sometimes what helped her was she wrote out, she set alarms on her phone to be more productive, because she realized that she wouldn't get up and do things, and now she knows the alarms are going to go off, so oftentimes she'll do things before the alarm even goes off, and that's getting her in the habit of doing something, you know. So like, do what works for you. If creating a list is not for you, that's all right. Lists aren't for everybody. I like the list because I can go, I'm at this desk all day. I'm at this, not all day, but I'm at this desk every day. So I'm looking at this list. I got my board, my calendar board. I got my list, and I just speak affirmations over it. If you're having trouble meditating, you might have expectations on what your meditation should look like. I talk about this a lot actually, because everybody thinks that you're just supposed to get like this silent mind with meditation, and sometimes you will. Meditation is great for relaxation and quieting your mind. But if you are constantly thinking and thinking and thinking, and you're not in the practice of letting go, your mind is probably not quiet during meditation. Or if you may not be experiencing what you expect to experience. And the expectation is oftentimes what holds us back from experiencing a good meditation. I get in meditation sometimes and I don't hear nothing. It just be some thoughts sometimes. And if you're seeking for peace and quiet, this is my method. This is something that works for me, because I'm a very active mentally person. I'm a very active person mentally. And what I would do is I would observe my thoughts. And this is very constructive to figuring out what you think about. Sometimes we think about things and we don't observe the thought, we just be thinking. And we don't actually sit there and be like, why did I think that? You know, or where did that come from? What's the root of that? You know? So, meditation is a great time to observe where your thought process is. So, it can be very constructive. It doesn't have to be one size fits all. Meditation is not a one size fits all. Everybody meditates differently. There's many different purposes to meditation. And I really recommend turning off your phones, turning off the music. Some people like to meditate with guidance. Guided meditations are great, but to be honest, at some point they start hindering you because you're interacting with someone else's energy, right? So like, bring yourself to the dark quiet. If you want a really deep meditation, you're gonna have to be patient, you know, and remove those expectations. Go ahead and say, I am transmuting all expectations towards what my meditation should look and feel like, what the experience should be like. I allow my meditations to be free flowing, to be enlightening to who I am internally, and for the truth to surface, for clarity and discernment to surface. Like set the intention of what you are bringing into your meditation. If you're bringing peace to yourself in meditation, I'm transmuting all resistance to meditation into peace and love. Go ahead and alchemize it. Go ahead and transmute that. Transmute that energy. I transmute all fear of what will come in meditation, and I release the anxieties of what will come. So like, let it go. Let go. Let go. The need to control is often what holds us back the most. And that takes practice. That takes practice. It's not something that I meditated for months, and it wasn't until like the 4th month of meditation in 2016 that I met my higher self. I was just meditating because it felt good. I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be getting in here, but I guess like I feel better after. I don't know what was accomplished, but and then I started getting downloads, and I started getting to know myself better. And then I started realizing it's not always about being in the quiet mind. Sometimes it's about me observing, why did I think that? Sometimes I'll hear conversations or I'll start thinking about things and I'll be like, okay, I need to transmute that energy. If something is really bothering me and it keeps surfacing in the meditation, I will do one or two things. If it's something like, what am I going to wear tomorrow? I'll be like, I'll thank the thought for coming. I think about my thoughts like children. And this is what has helped me a lot, y'all. I know it sounds silly at first, but I think about my thoughts like they're children. You know how children, they're like, Mommy, look at me. Look at what I can do. And then they jump and then you be like, good job, and then they go off and play, right? They are, I know it sounds silly, but sometimes they just need somebody to watch them, right? They need some type of acknowledgement. So your thoughts are sometimes like that. Like they need you to acknowledge it. So sometimes I'll be like, thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I am releasing this for now, and I will come back to it at a later time. And I release the thought and I let it go, and I go back into my breathing. I'm going back into my breathing. I'm center focused back on the prana, the air in which is life, the air that reminds me that I am God. And I let it go. And I'm back into myself. So if you're having issues with meditation, that's one way. You can say, I'm going to address this at a later time. This is not important. I don't need to worry about this right now. This is bringing me anxiety. Let me, if it's something that's really stressing you out, like you are worried about how you going to pay your rent, right? This is a good example. If you are worried about something that has really happened, or if you're replaying a conversation, or if you're anticipating a conversation with somebody and you're trying to meditate on it, get to the root of why you are projecting that. Because sometimes I'll just listen to myself, right? Like I had a legal situation going on, and I was just projecting in my mind all these different scenarios of what was I going to say if they asked me this, or what was going to happen if I had to do this. And I was like, where did that come from? Why? Like, show me the root of why I'm thinking like this, right? So instead of dismissing that thought, I'm going to address the root issue. I'm like, show me where this came from. And then I had to address the issue that I get anxiety. I had anxiety with dealing with authorities because of my childhood. So I had to go back to the inner child, and I had to comfort the inner child. And I had to say, it's okay, because you are powerful. You are strong. You do not have to answer to nobody. You are not validated. by anybody. And if they don't understand you, so fucking what? You know, you're not going to mess up and say something wrong. Speak your truth, breathe through it. Because when I was a child, people used to try to rush me to get things out, right? So I would feel under pressure, so much pressure that I would be anxious to talk to authorities in class, like just different things. You know, that's a throat chakra issue. And that's also a solar plexus issue because I didn't have confidence in myself. So I had to identify the root, and I had to say, I am in alignment with my truth. I am powerful. I take up space, baby. I take up space and I say what I need to say. I am a divine vessel, and my spirit shines in this space. And everyone in my presence literally is affected by the love that pours out of me. Does not matter what position you are in. And then I had to look back at situations where I have dealt with the law. I've been to jail, y'all. And I've been pulled over and had cannabis on me, and still it was not found. And I just was like, I have proved to myself, my higher self and my spirit team has proven to me endlessly that I am taken care of. Why would I worry about this? So I had to reassure and reparent my inner child and let her know it's okay, baby. I got you now. I got you. You don't have to rush. Well, who you rushing for? Who you rushing for? What we got to rush for? If they trying to pressure you, take up space. Take up space. You know, so like demand, you got to command your presence and be confident in that. You know, so like when you have proven to yourself endlessly that no matter what option you choose, you will never be put out. You will never be without. You will never go without. You will never not make it out. You will never not face an adversary and come out on top. That is the level of trust and faith that you got to have in yourself. And when I had to realize that, when I realized that, I said, wow, these inner dialogues and these conversations that I'm having and making up in my head, these stories that I'm making up in my head are not really worth it. They're not worth my energy. They're not worth my attention. And then what I did was I put a bubble around that thought. I'm a very visual person, but if you're just thinking about it, think about the thought in a bubble, or think about the scenario in a bubble, and then remove it from your head. I literally pull it out of my mind and I give it to the universe with love. And I say, I'm releasing this thought from me. If you're thinking negatively about yourself, put that thought in a bubble and extract it from your mind and say, I'm releasing this with love into the universe. I'm letting it go. I'm transmuting this thought into love. I'm transmuting and reinforcing. Every time you pull something out of you, put something good into you. You know, speak love into you, speak life into you. That is how you reprogram the mind. That's how you reprogram the mind. And it works wonders. People with clairaudience, if you can hear spirits or hear conversations or have telepathy, that method right there has helped me a lot, because I would be in meditation and I would hear all these conversations and these voices, and I was like, this ain't even my voice. I was like, who is thinking like this? And then I had to identify it wasn't me. And I was like, oh, so I had to encapsulate that, or I would observe it and be like, what is this trying to show me? Or who am I connected to that this is talking about? If I couldn't identify who it was connected to, I would just encapsulate it in a bubble, push it through a portal and close the portal and be like, it's not mine. I'm closing that portal, you know? And then my mind would get so quiet. My mind was quiet when I disconnected and closed my portals. And I said, oh, this is quiet? Y'all, I had never had quiet in my mind. Never. And I realized that my mind was not quiet. I have an active mind, but my mind was really not quiet because I had intrusive thoughts from other people. I was attached to other people's minds. dimensions. I was tapped into other people's energy that I ain't had no business doing. And the moment I learned how to do that, it changed my life. It changed my life. It changed the way I meditated. It changed the way, when you realize you have so much more power than what you give yourself credit for, it literally changes your life. You can transform anything. You can live. It's magic, baby. It lives in you. You are magic, breathing magic. You are all your atoms in the world is divine manifestation of everything that you are. Come on now. Like, come on, source. That's you. That's you. You out here being source. You have the power to do whatever you want. Go ahead and say, I am. I am. I am. Every time you think you're not, I am. I am. I am. I am. I am. I am divine. I am powerful. I am magic. I am majestic. I am all that is and all that ever will be. Okay, like there is nothing in this world and out of this world, in this universe, in any other dimension that ain't me. And I am. And the moment you see that, there is nothing. That's why I used to be afraid of spirits, because I had such a rough childhood with seeing and hearing spirits, and had a lot of, and I still go to battle in the realm with spirits. Me and spirits be jacking. Okay. And I be winning. Why do I be winning? Because they don't want this smoke. And I had to realize that I can't be afraid of spirits no more, because like a part of me didn't want to go into meditation. I didn't want to be in the dark. Like I had a lot of habits based in fear and I was afraid of my gifts. I was afraid of who I was. I am divine. So why be afraid of anything in this world? Why be afraid? There's literally nothing to be afraid of, because you are everything and everything is you. And if you can see yourself in it, you can transmute it, you can change it. And so I used to see spirits like without a filter. Like I would go into one day, I'm gonna tell y'all this story. So one day, I was coming into my mediumship gifts, and I was sitting with my ancestors and sitting with my spirit team. And they were like, you gonna have to stop being afraid of the dark. You gonna have to stop being afraid of unhealed spirits, right? You can't just talk to the healed spirits. You can't just talk to the angels and the ancestors that done moved on. You are here to help them cross over. Why? Why are you afraid of them? Because to me, whenever I would see an unhealed spirit, I would see it as this zombie looking thing. Like their face would be falling off and their chest all open, because I would literally see, my intuition would show me what that person had been through. So if that person had heart problems, or if they were a hateful person, their chest would be all open and their flesh would be falling off. Like it was disgusting. It was like a zombie apocalypse movie to me. And I was like, I don't want these motherfuckers coming up to me, and that's how I see spirits sometimes. Now, they don't always look like that, but I did not want to transmute them. I was like, I don't want to help them. I'm finna banish them. They can't. They finna get sent to the shadow realm or something, and messing with me. And my spirits was like, no. So I said, okay, let me get in meditation. Let me turn off all the lights. I can't be scared no more. Show me what I need to know to not be afraid. And I went into meditation, and my spirit literally was taking me into this underworld area. And the rocks, like the earth was really hot. Like I wasn't touching it, but I could tell that it was really hot. And when I was going down into the earth, all of these spirits that was just like looking like zombies, they was coming towards me, because I'm the light, right? They coming towards me. They either want to possess me or they need my help. right? So, when they see your power, they see who you are. So they was coming to me and I was like, I'm finna skirt. And Spirit was like, go hug them. I said, you want me to do what? You want me to do what? They said, hug them. And I said, okay. So I hugged them. And when I put the Spirit in my embrace, they started transmuting into light and reverting into their divine self. And that's the power and presence of love in your embodiment. And I just cried. I just cried because I realized in that moment that these are people, these are spirits who have been through things and they just lost their way. They're just like us. Why would I be afraid of them? It's like walking past a homeless person and be like, ew, don't touch me. Like, wow, they're a person. They're a person. This is a spirit. This is my kin. I don't care how far deep they are. I don't care how far deep they are in addiction, in hate. I don't care if you're a murderer, a serial killer. I don't care if you're a rapist. And I have experiences with rapists. I have experiences with psycho ass people. But that does not these are hurt people hurting other people. These are hurt spirits that are stuck in a place of hurt. So what transmutes hurt? Because you don't fight fire with fire. You put water and fire together. So you transmute hurt with love. You transmute. Now, some spirits, they don't want to be transmuted, okay? I've had some spirits where I'm just going to have to be like, look, I'm going to have to bind you because you just out here being a menace. And if you don't want my help, then you don't want my help. You going to stop fucking with me. I know that. But I've had some spirits like that where they want to fight me, and that's fine. I'll fight you. You're not gonna win. But that took me a while to realize that, right? But I had to come into a place of realizing that these people are coming to me because they see who I am and they need help. And if I treat them like if I treat them automatically like they're not ever going to be able to recover, then I'm not embodying the love that I am. I'm being judgmental to their spirit and things that they've been through. And if I can be forgiving to myself, to my soul experiences, because I haven't always been a good person. I have been a hurt person hurting other people, right? So if I can forgive myself, if I can be compassionate to myself, I can be compassionate to somebody else. And so oftentimes the way that we approach spirits or other people is based on how we treat ourselves. If you hard on yourself, you hard on another person. If you judgmental to yourself, you judgmental to someone else. That's just what it is, because that's your divine reflection. Anything you see in me is you. Anything I see in you is me. That's what it is. So if we can recognize that, we can bring people out of the deepest, we can bring people, spirits, souls, we can bring them out of the deepest, darkest abyss and bring them into a place of awareness. We can bring them into awareness of who they are. So like that took discipline. Bringing us back to the discipline conversation. Okay, that took discipline. I had to stop being afraid and I had to recognize what my problem was. And my areas of opportunity helped me to grow. And when I am honest about my areas of opportunity, when I am real with myself about the places where I can grow, and I slowly move into that space. I did not start doing this work immediately. I've been in preparation for this for a long time, as have you. Everybody watching this has been in preparation for something. You may not realize it yet. I didn't know I was a medium. Somebody told me, oh, you're an energy transmuter. I didn't know what the hell that was. And then a year later, I came into mediumship. And then now I'm helping spirits transition. and I'm working in grievance, and I'm communicating in the Akashic, and I'm spirit. I'm out here time hopping, dimension hopping. Like, I did not know what my astral traveling was going to do. So like, I did not know that I was going to be here. I'm going to tell you that. Hanan said, question for you: when I meditated, what discipline you suggest to do astral projecting? Do you think it is beneficial? Yes. So astral traveling, so I wrote a what is that called? An article on the sacred space for astral projection and astral traveling. So I recommend going to that. The sacred space, you just got to go to souldriveglobal.com, click on the sacred space tab. If you're subscribed to the text service or the newsletter, then you'll know the password to it. And if you don't and you're subscribed, just message me. But so I recommend going to that. But it's beneficial because astral projecting is such a wonderful way to gain enlightenment and awareness, and to also like have fun in the realm sometimes too, and to be in a place of to see things beyond what the eyes can see. Astral projection has helped me to see the truth beyond people and situations. It has helped me to learn how to quantum leap into different dimensions. As far as discipline goes, I would say consistent meditation. Whenever you feel your soul shifting out of your body, first of all, cleanse and protect you and your space. Ground yourself so that you can safely come back into your body, right? And you want to protect your body while you're out of your body. And so whenever you feel safe and secure and grounded, you're not going to have as much resistance to leaving your body because you know you're safe. Then whenever you're in a place of meditation and you start to feel yourself tugging and pulling out of your body, surrender. Allow it to happen. It takes practice sometimes. But that's what helps me. Because I used to be really afraid. I'll be like, oh, where am I going? Oh, shit. I don't know what's happening to me. And sometimes I'd shift out of my body and then I'd shift back in. And yeah, it was. And then one time I had a place where I was meditating and I shifted out of my body, and my higher self basically shedded a layer off of my ego and then put it back into my body. So I like shifted in and out and in and out. And it was like a weird experience for me because I was basically, my body was jerking, but I had to surrender to it because it was beneficial for me. And I could tell that I did an upgrade. Like I had downloads, a new level of consciousness. So like a new version of me had been put into my body. Like I had been upgraded. So there's different things that can take place in astral projection. You can also travel to places that, in astral projection, you can leave your body and you can go to Turks and Caicos. Like, you can go sit on the beach and make an offering in spirit, or you can go and visit somebody in spirit. Like there's a lot of things that you can do. You can come outside of your body and see things spiritually that is going on in your home that you wouldn't have normally been able to see with your two eyes, but you gotta surrender to that. So there's a lot of things that you can do. It's unlimited possibilities of what can happen in an astral projection. But cleansing, protection, and grounding, I recommend as your basis. Consistent meditation. Allow yourself to go deep into meditation. It's okay if you don't always remember where you go. That can be common. I still recommend journaling that you have shifted out of your body and how you're feeling afterwards. If you don't remember the experience, or if you only remember certain parts, write down what you can remember, because that is a conscious agreement to you acknowledging what is happening, and a conscious agreement to allowing more exploration to take place, basically. So, and I recommend that with dreams too, and astral traveling. Astral traveling, when your soul is taking you into different bodies, different experiences, usually very vivid sleep, very vivid dreams. You can tell it's an experience and it's not a dream, like a subconscious dream. So, lots of things that can take place. It's really unlimited. Uh, Beneficial, I mean, endlessly beneficial. You will see things beyond what you could ever imagine. um that was where I first experienced the cosmos. Actually, like my first time, one of my first experiences astral projecting out of my body. I was in space, and I saw, instead of like how we see planets and stars and stuff, I saw them in geometrical shapes and like different motions of energy, and I could see the energy of the cosmos, basically. And it was one of the most enlightening experiences that I ever had, and it was very serene and peaceful, and it gave me a different perspective of the experience that I'm having right now, like where I'm presently at. So lots of things that you can do with that. But resistance to the shifting out of your body is usually what stops us. Like there's a fear there. And well, that's what I noticed with me and a lot of my clients, is that when they start shifting out of their body, they feel like they're not going to come back. And that fear is usually rooted in some type of spiritual experience. And there have been experiences where you don't come back. So that's why the grounding, the cleansing, and protection is so important. It can happen without that, and you can come back safe, but better safe than sorry. In my opinion, please protect yourself. Please cleanse and protect your space, ground yourself, make sure that your body is safe for you to come back into. It's how a lot of possessions happen. Um, which, I mean, all of us are possessed in some way. It's very common for possessions to take place in everyday life. So, astral projection is not changing your your chances of being possessed any different. Most people are possessed in everyday walking life anyway. So, Robin said, "Oh my God, my first experience with space. Intro into astrotheology." Yes, space. I think the spirit shows us a lot of us space on purpose, but it's really cool. It's a really cool experience. I had a friend. This was a few years ago. They were going through a really abusive relationship, and they were going through a lot of possessions. They were dealing with drugs, and this is how spirit was preparing me. Was that I was attached to whatever my friend was going through, and I was in meditation, and I had like went to sleep, but I had astral traveled, and I could see the spirit possessing my friend, and like their face would change. So I knew that my friend was possessed. I knew that the partner was possessed. I knew that the situation was sus. I knew that it was a harmful situation. And in my astral travel, I was also conscious in my physical body. So although I wasn't here like awake, I still was present. And so I could hear my best friend coming in the house, and I jumped back into my body. And when I jumped back into my body, she was leaving the house. And I just barely missed her. But, like that was an experience that spirit showed me. And I had many dreams about this possession taking place. And like, what did it for me? Because I wanted to be Captain Save a Demon back then. I did not. I wanted to be Captain Save a Demon. I wanted to help help my friend, and like get this spirit out of her and all this other stuff, y'all. I wanted to do lots of things. I didn't even know. I didn't even know what I was supposed to be doing, but I wanted to help her, right? I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I was trying to help her, and she didn't want to be helped, and that's okay. Sometimes we gotta let people fight their own battles, right? And the cool thing about this experience was that the last time that I dealt with it was we had came back to her house, and I was walking up the stairs, and it was really heavy energy. This is before my mediumship, y'all. I was not, this is when I, like, somebody had called me an energy transmuter, and I was like, I mean, I feel energy. I put love into people. I don't really know what that is. You know, like, this was very early in the gifts. And I still was figuring it out, and still am every single day. And so I was walking up the stairs. Why the spirit smacked the shit out of me when I got up to the stairs? I almost fell down the stairs. Okay. I was so mad. And it was because my spirit irritates. My spirit irritates things that don't mean no good. Because I'm going to transmute the energy in my presence, right? So clearly it could tell that I was trying to help my friend. Kiki said, off topic, what color are your eyes? They actually changed color between green, gray, and blue. But yeah, they're usually greenish gray. But yeah, so the spirit slapped the shit out of me. And I went downstairs and said, I'm leaving. And I ain't went back to that house. I was like, I ain't coming back. So that's what that is. And yeah, I left that situation alone. And I said, I need more experience in this situation. I need more experience in what to do. Oh, they changing colors? That's a big lead. I was like, I'm not qualified. I was qualified, but I just didn't know it. But I gained so much experience from that experience, and it was tiring. I was having dreams and astral travels and projections. I was seeing everything, and it sucked because nobody believed me. I was like, y'all are possessed. I was doing everything in my power to remove this spirit, and I have done exorcisms with people before. I've removed spirits from people. I've fought spirits, and I've transmuted spirits. Definitely work that spirit was, like, my higher self and my spirit team was preparing me for. This is work that you are prepared for. This is not something you just jump into and then you doing it. Like, I mean, some people do, maybe, you know, but it was not something that I personally jumped into. Spirit had been preparing me for this for years, and I just didn't know, you know. Yeah, thank you, Robin. Thank y'all for listening. I'm glad that this is helpful for y'all. I mean, I guess we kind of getting off topic with the discipline, but this is why these experiences are why I started developing discipline in general. Because these experiences, I realized that I needed to be, I had always been in tune, but I needed to fine tune and master what I was doing, because if I just kept being empathic without any like boundaries, if I just kept tapping into people without spiritual hygiene, like, I would be fucked up, y'all. Like, and I was at one point. Like, I definitely went through a lot of hardships with my gifts and my abilities because I was not taking care of myself, which is why I have these non-negotiables. This is why I have this. I would not have this without the trials and tribulations that I have been through, because I would not have recognized that I needed spiritual hygiene and health. I would have not put myself first. Okay, I would still be out here being Captain Save a Demon. That's what I mean, Captain Save an entity, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I mean, demons are just demonstrations. but you know, whatever it is. So we all are on this journey to experience different things, and I am so grateful for these experiences because they helped to shape my discipline into what it was. They helped to bring to my attention how necessary it was. If I was not, if I hadn't paid attention to these things, if I hadn't have asked, why, Spirit? And y'all, let me tell y'all something that I realized after that experience. After that experience, I realized that I went through things with through a lot of hardship, because when I first got into my awareness, I said, Spirit, teach me. Teach me everything. Show me. I was like, I don't care how I get there, just get me there. Biggest mistake. It wasn't a mistake. There are no mistakes. But you get what you ask for. Okay? And some of us, we want to be woke so bad. I wanted to be awake. I was like, I'm sick of being asleep. I'm sick of being asleep. Show me everything. I don't care how I get there. I don't care how gruesome it is. Because I signed up for gruesome shit, right? So we got to be careful about our contracts and what we speak of our life, right? That's why I'm so adamant about saying I transition with ease in my life. I speak ease over my life every single day. Every day. Because of that one time in 2016 where I said, Spirit, show me everything. Because Spirit showed me. And I was not, my whole world fell apart. Everything fell apart. Every foundation, it was not with ease. Okay? It was not with ease. And now I welcome ease into my life because I chose not ease, and I see where that, I mean, it got me where I was supposed to go, but then I realized that I have an option, and why would I not choose to transition with ease? Why would I not? And that's why things are a little bit slower paced for me sometimes. I got to be patient because shit, things were moving fast when my shit was getting rocked. But I was worn out. I was tired. I was like, I don't want to do this shit no more. I don't even want these gifts. And Spirit was like, you asked for this. Do you do you not remember? You don't remember asking us or saying that? Like, you don't remember saying that you wanted to be woke and you wanted to be in your purpose and you wanted to change the world? You don't remember that? And I was like, oh, okay, you're right. I got to be accountable. And I said, I am now transmuting my first agreement into ease because I now understand. I understand. So everything is negotiable. I laugh about it now, but I went through some chaotic first years. And I think a lot of people do that. Like, so I'm telling you that you still gonna get to your desired destination with ease. Okay, choose ease. Choose ease, please. Please choose ease. Do not rush these people in waking up. Do not rush yourself. Choose ease. Choose ease. You are still on the right path. Just because something ain't popping off every second does not mean you're not on the right path. It means that you are on a path of ease that is doable for you. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Do y'all have any more questions about discipline, daily disciplines, anything that y'all would like to know? I'm happy to assist. I'm glad that this is an informational live and that y'all are present with me. My first live, y'all couldn't hear me, so I had to come back and share the gems. Did not expect to go into this, so this was good. This is good. Damn, it's almost 10 p.m. Let's see. Let's see. Anything else? Let's see if I missed some comments. Do you post the non-negotiable somewhere? No. Oh, well, personally, I went through them at like the middle of the live. And I just went through my habits and my moderations. And these are just for me personally. This is just for me. I keep this next to like above my desk so that I can look at it every single day. And at the beginning of the live, I was just talking about how it's important to have non-negotiables, like things that you do on a regular basis every day, every week, that keeps you in good spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical health. So like that one-on-one conversation with yourself about what you need to live a healthy lifestyle, and see what's draining you, see what's taking too much of your attention and focus, and see how you can improve that and redirect your energy towards things that are benefiting you. Natina said, I hope I'm saying your name right. When astral traveling, why do we feel exhausted when we wake up? So your portals may not be closed. So sometimes I still wake up a little exhausted. Okay. So I got y'all's questions. So sometimes I still wake up exhausted if I have done a lot of traveling in my sleep, which I do every night. I have like 700 plus dreams and travels written down. Like I dream multiple dreams every night, or I experience multiple things every night. And most of the time I don't wake up as exhausted as I used to. Sometimes I still do, because our spirit is moving. And sometimes there's still like there might be a physical attachment connected to that. It could be us just moving in and out of the body as we transition. Sometimes it just because it takes so much spiritual energy to teleport and move into all those places. But what really helped me was closing my portals and calling my energy back to me before bed. So my before bed routine is really important. I am going to talk to the ancestors. I'm going to meditate before bed. I even go to bed meditating most of the time. And what I do is I cleanse and protect my energy. And I also speak that my higher self guides my astral travels with ease and with clarity, so that I can recall them a lot easier. And then what I do is I close my portals. So I say, I'm closing my portals. I'm no longer energetically available. I am closing all of the connections that I've made throughout the day, or any connections that are connecting me to other people. I call my energy and my power back to me. And, that fuels me up. That brings me back to my, I'm not spread thin. And I also disconnect from electronics and social media and things like that. I try to at least do at least an hour before bed, so that I've had time to recollect and just be to myself. So these are habits that really work well for me to not feel exhausted when I wake up. As an avid traveler, sometimes I still be a little tired, but it's not nearly as often. So I hope that helps you, and maybe there's some things that you can incorporate in your nightly routine that can help you to, bring your power back to you. And you got to set yourself up, like you set yourself up for success at the beginning of your day. I have to set myself up for success to astral travel, because I travel every night. It does not fail. My spirit is working in the realm. Okay, like a lot of people dream about me. I help a lot of people in the realm. I'm having a lot of experiences. I'm fighting a lot of entities sometimes. I'm having shit. They were teaching me how to timeline travel the other night, and that was crazy. I woke up exhausted from that, because I was definitely working my magic. But I'm doing magical things every night. So sometimes I'm working more in my sleep than I do in my daily routine. But I take that into consideration too. Like if I've had a really exhausting night, I get some more rest. I take me a nap. I cleanse my space more often. Um, and I also clean my bed. So I wash my sheets a lot more than I think regular people do. And I also take a selenite wand and I like speak life and transmute energy over my bed a lot, because I realize sometimes I'll take energies back with me. Not as often anymore, but yeah, I used to bring a lot of that energy back with me to this realm, and I needed to stop that. So, I keep, you can grid your bed, you can put herbs under the bed that can help you to stay protected. You could do crystals, you could do different things, you could do spell work, like anything that helps you to pay extra attention to that area of your life if you know that you're an avid astral traveler. So that's what helps me. Um, Make a worksheet. I'd invest in that. I will definitely consider making a worksheet. I definitely will. Hanan said, I noticed that I'm picking up on so many people's energy left and right. I'm not upset about it. I'm just noticing more messages. Close your portals. Call your energy back to you. I do not read for everybody. And I'm a very sensitive person energetically. And in the beginning of, before I learned how to master my empathy, I don't use my empathy as much as I used to. My empathy is on 10%. You know how people like, I'm an empath, I'm an empath. I'm a very sensitive person. So I had to learn how to cut that shit off. Because if not, I'd be reading for everybody and their mama. Okay, I would be walking into the grocery store and know that that person has cancer. I would know that they just got into a fight with their boyfriend. I will be getting messages from everybody, and that is not my business. Sometimes we have to say, this is not for me to know. I'm cutting this off. I am releasing this connection. More protection. Something that really helps me is to visualize my cleansing and protection. So when I'm out in public, and I have to do this with friendships too, because if you have a connection with somebody, even partners, romantic partners, I am the first person. That's how I figured out that I could read energy, is because I would be perfectly fine. And in 2016, I had a partner that I would be perfectly fine. I would be in high spirits, just in a good space. My partner would come home from work and be pissed off. And next thing you know, I'm pissed. I just, everything would take over me. And I was like, I can't keep being like this. So Spirit had to teach me how to do additional cleansing and protection over my energy. And I had to ask myself, is this me or is this them? And when I discern if it's me or if it's them, that lets me know, okay, if it's you, if it's them, I need to detach from that. I need to separate from that. That's not my business. And if Spirit wants me to give somebody a message, I'll say, okay, let me call my power back to me. Let me place my protections up, because if I'm too connected to what you got going on, I'm not going to be a vessel for Spirit in the proper way, because I'm feeling too much of what you're feeling, right? So that's when your empathy and your connection and your sensitivity to whatever gift you have, whether it's clairaudience, claircognizance, any clair, whatever gift you have, or all of them, it's really about mastery. So you need to practice with it. And the way you can do that is by learning how to disconnect and to say, okay, Spirit, do you want me to say something to them? Do you want me to hold space for them? You know, what is the purpose of this being shown to me? And how can I, or do I just need to know this information and save it for later? Because a lot of the times that's what it is. Sometimes Spirit will tell me people's intentions and what they're going through for me to just have an example, or for me to just witness that or be present for that. It's not always for you to give messages or whatever the case may be. Okay, that's exhausting, and people deserve to pay you for that, and they also need to consent. And that's something that took me a while to figure out, is I needed to have people consent. I'll ask you, because everybody ain't ready for the message. And I'll say, I'm getting a message. Something is coming to me about the situation. Do you want me to hold space for you and just listen, or would you prefer my experience or the message that I'm hearing? Have them consent. If they don't consent, don't tell the message. That's what works for me. I recommend that because people who consent, at least they're listening. People who don't consent, I mean, you're planting the seed and that's great, but sometimes we just wasting energy on people who they're not ready for that, and that's all right. Sometimes we are in awareness of other people so that we can reposition ourselves, not for the other person. So that's another thing too. But yeah, so that's to answer your why. And what you should do is disconnect, remove. Like, I literally visualize the white light coming into my body, cleansing, removing the connection, the telepathic connection, the voice. I remove it and I say, okay, I'm turning my feelers on 10% and I'm bringing all my energy back to me, and I'm refocusing, and I'm just in that space, and that's why I used to feel people's problems and I'd be crying because I can feel it so intensely. Or I could feel somebody's sickness so much that I would almost collapse because I would be in so much pain. And the moment I leave the room from this person, I'm fine. So that's how strong my sensitivity is. And I had to, everybody's sensitivity ain't that strong. Sometimes you'll gain more sensitivity over time. And that's why you have to learn how to use it. So it's a blessing and not your curse. And it's important to kind of like shift your perspective with it, and to grow with your gifts are going to grow as you grow. Your abilities and your access to it is going to grow as you grow. So kind of like learn how to use it, just like you're learning how to do a new hobby. Like, you learn the tips and tricks over time, and you have to say, okay, well, this is taking too much out of me. I need to reassess what to do with this. Or if this is triggering me to the point where I am too invested, then I need to take a step back, because that's my boundary, right? So like, recognizing your boundaries is so helpful, and it will help you to fine tune your gifts to mastery. It will help you to fine tune it, and it will help you to utilize these gifts, over time, in a more, healthy way. Because I used to be walking up to people like, hey, you need to fix that shit with your mama. And I would be so mad. I would just blurt it out because I'd be so mad that I'm just hearing everything and feeling everything. And it just was exhausting. It's exhausting. So you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. If you find yourself exhausted with your gifts, sit back, set some boundaries with your spirit team and your higher self, and sit in meditation and ask how you can better maneuver these gifts. Visualize the cleansing coming through your body. Visualize the protection being a bubble around you, separating your energy from other people's energy. Speak it over your life. I am now disconnecting from any and all energy. I am calling my power back to me. I'm connected to only me. I am open to receive the message or the purpose of why I am feeling this in this present moment. Feel how your intuition is connecting with you. That's definitely what I would recommend in that space. Thank you for sharing, as well as your habit. Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's an honor to share with you guys. things that have really helped me in this journey. Like, whew, it has been beautiful. It's been beautiful. And I'm really grateful to be able to share these experiences. I mean, I haven't, we at the tip of the iceberg, baby. You know, and I'm still growing and learning every single day. I am open to receive learning every day. Just like I'm a teacher, I'm a student, and that's always, always. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I know y'all hear my throat chakra is out of time. Out of time, maxed out. But I'm gonna go rest, rejuvenate, call my energy back to me, which I'm doing right now. I'm closing my portals, taking my energy back. Y'all gained what y'all needed from me, and I have gained what I needed from this experience. Calling that back to me. I'm cleansing this energy, this space. This is sacred, holy space. And as we part from this space, that love continues in our life and it continues to flourish. So, setting that intention. I love y'all. The divine loves you. Make sure y'all are going to subscribe to souldriveglobal.com. Make sure you are subscribing to the text service. Signing up for Zane's Conscious Cooking class February 13th, which is also going to be recorded and interactive. What else we got going on? We have a new podcast episode, which is now video podcast as well. We have some of those coming out. Our YouTube, lots of things to keep updated with. Book me for a session. My books are now open for February, so book me for a session. I'm happy to have y'all. Happy to share space with y'all. I love y'all. Yes, blessings to y'all. I love y'all. Good night. Mwah. I will talk to y'all tomorrow.